welcome back to the basement where it's top level content from the lower level. So as what we've done so far this week is we had an exclusive interview with Elite Rejects' own The Ghost, which plays Grand Theft Auto 5 on the 5M servers on YouTube. He has 485,000 followers, so hop on over to YouTube, give him a follow. We also talked about the problem with youth sports. We talked about everything from a wide range of coaches, referees, parents, and everything that's involved actually in the youth sports aspect. So how are y'all feeling so far this week with the episodes we have recorded?
I feel like we put out some really good content.
Yeah, I really liked the interview with Ghost because I had a lot of questions for him.
Oh, yeah.
But also, the problem with youth sports episode is there's a lot of things need to be said, and not everybody's got a platform to say it on. But unfortunately for you guys, we do.
Yeah, absolutely. We have the platform to go out here, make the comments that need to be made. And, unfortunately, there may be some people that may feel like we're talking about them, and I wasn't talking about anybody necessarily, just the observations that I have had over the years of youth sports and the issues in them. So what we're going to go back into today with this episode is back into what we've been working on the last couple weeks, the Appalachian and West Virginia folklore. That's actually what we're going to go into and take a look at. So, with that being said, we talked about doing this episode last week. We talked about doing this episode last week. However, it kind of got pushed back due to us barely and narrowly surviving the world's hottest gummy bear challenge and the really nasty jelly bean challenge and the world's hottest beef jerky. So we wasn't able to record anymore because we literally passed away. But we're back now. So with that being said, we're going to talk about something that happened in the dead center of West Virginia, actually in Braxton County to be exact, the Flatwoods Monster, or BRAXXIE, or some people like to call it the Flatwoods Monster or the Green Monster or the Green-Eyed Monster. It is such a legendary folklore in West Virginia. They have actually made their own, blonde ale. It's right here, as you can see, the can.
We'll show it to the TikTok Live.
We'll show it to the TikTok Live.
Hey, that is a closed container as well.
It is closed.
There's nothing being used.
There is no consumption being going on right now.
So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to read a little bit just to give a little bit of a backstory on the Flatwoods Monster. So it's going to seem a little sermony. But I'm just going to give some information, okay? The Flatwoods Monster, also known as the Braxton County Monster, BRAXXIE, or the Phantom of the Flatwoods in West Virginia folklore, it's a creature reported to have been sighted in the town of Flatwoods in Braxton County, West Virginia, on September 12, 1952, after a bright light crossed the night sky. Investigators now suggest that the light was a meteor, and the creature was a barn owl perched in a tree with shadows making it appear to be a large humanoid.
So let me get this straight. They decided to say, "Oh, that was a barn owl." Now a barn owl's not even that big of an owl.
And a barn owl's eyes do not glow red.
I'm pretty sure they don't.
And I know it doesn't look like it has a hood over its head either, like how the Flatwoods Monster's been described either.
Mr. Officer, with all due respect, that is not a barn owl. That's a pterodactyl.
That was a pterodactyl. So, with that being said, so let's go into the history of it, and we're going to do a little bit of talking back and forth of what we think. So I am going to read just a little bit here, a little expert here. At 7:15 on September 12, 1952, there was two brothers, Edward and Fred May, and their buddy Tommy. What they were doing was they was outside playing football, like, a lot of kids do in West Virginia. But some of the reports I read is that these kids were playing two-hand touch football. I know for a fact that is a lie, because in West Virginia, we play tackle football.
Oh, most definitely.
And we destroy, so that's already debunked. So they actually seen this bright object across the sky and land on the property of a local farmer named Bailey Fisher. The boys went home and told their mother, Kathleen May. They told her the story. They, accompanied by three boys, local children, Neil Nunley, Ronnie Shaver, and they found a West Virginia National Guardsman by the name of Eugene Lemon. That kid, the Eugene Lemon, was only 17 years old and in the National Guard. So they went to the Fisher farm in an effort to locate whatever it was that Edward and Fred had claimed to see. The group reached the top of the hill where Nunley said they saw a pulsing red light. Lemon said he aimed the flashlight in that direction and momentarily saw a tall, man-like figure with a round, red face surrounded by a pointed, hood-like shape. Okay, let's pause there, part of the story. Does that sound like a barn owl to you guys?
No, not at all.
So,
Are barn owls even red? Like, let's just start with that part of it.
No. No. They are a beautiful animal.
They are.
However, I don't know if you've ever been in the woods or been anywhere where a barn owl's at. They will scare you.
Oh yeah.
Because especially, I remember growing up, we lived in the woods, and I thought there was something outside my window, and I was panicking. And I ran out, and I was like, Dad, there is something outside my window. And he come in there, heard it, and starts dying laughing. He said, well, that's just an owl. Go back to bed. I said, that's not an owl. It's somebody dying out there.
He said, no, it's the Flatwoods
That's
monster.
the Flatwoods. That's BRAXXIE out there.
It's a pterodactyl.
It's a pterodactyl. Funny pterodactyl story. So we'll dig back into this. Description varied. An article for Fate magazine based on his tape-recorded interviews. UFO writer Gray Barker described the figure as approximately 10 feet tall, with a round, blood-red face, a large pointed hood-like shape around the face, eye-like shapes which emitted greenish-orange light, a dark black or green body. They described the figure as having a small, claw-like hands, or she even actually said antennas, is what it looked like, with little claws at the end of it. Clothing like folds, and a head that resembled the ace of spades. According to the story, when the figure made a hissing sound and glided towards the group, so what happened was they turned around and seen the Flatwood monster about 10 foot from them, because they were fixated on this actual whatever glowing meteorite or spaceship was laying on the ground. They were fixated on that and had no idea this thing was sitting a car length from them watching it. When they turned around and seen it, it lunged towards them and squirted some type of oil all over them.
What?
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that part of it.
Exactly. I've been digging into it today, buddy. That's what I've been doing. The group said they had smelled a pungent mist, and some later said they were very nauseated. The local sheriff and a deputy had actually been investigating reports of a crashed aircraft in the area about a couple miles away. So they were already investigating a crashed aircraft.
Yeah.
At this time. They were unable to find anything. They searched the site of the reported monster, but saw, heard, and smelled nothing. According to Barker's account, the next day, A. Lee Stewart Jr. of the Braxton Democrat claimed to have discovered. I don't know why that's important. Why his
That's the
political
name of
affiliation.
That's the name of the newspaper.
Oh, it's
bro.
the name of the newspaper? I was like, why is that important? Wow, okay. Have discovered skid marks in a field in an odd gummy deposit, which subsequently attributed by UFO enthusiast groups as evidence of a saucer landing.
I'd have had skid marks in my britches.
Yeah, right. So if I've seen something 10 foot with red eyes and suck like that, squirt oil on me, somebody would put I've been hightailing her all out there, old bud. But according to former news editor Hoyt Brin, boy, you can tell us is deep West Virginia with these names.
We're stitching on ourselves with these.
Yeah, right. Newspaper stories were carried throughout the country. Radio broadcasts were carried on large networks, and hundreds of phone calls were received from all parts of the country. The National Press Services rated the story number 11 for the year. So it was number 11 out of all news stories within the whole year.
That's awesome. 1952.
52. A minister from Brooklyn came to question the May family. A Pittsburgh paper sent a special reporter. UFO and 14 writers like Gary Barker and Ivan T. Sanderson arrived to investigate. Ivan T. Sanderson was real big at that time for investigating things like this. So we're going to look at the legacy. And then after I get through with these facts, we're going to throw out some other things that I actually had learned, okay? Officials in Flatwoods erected a welcome sign which designated the town as home of the Green Monster. The town also commemorates the legend in its annual Flatwoods Day Festival. We should go to that, guys.
For sure.
Oh,
We should definitely go to that. So, located in the town of Sutton, the Braxton County seat is the Flatwoods Monster Museum, which is dedicated to the legend. So, the legend of the Flatwoods Monster has also been inspired in beyond West Virginia. It's actually a huge thing in Japan.
Really?
Yes. For some reason, people in Japan, they like attach to American lore.
Yeah.
And once they attach to something, they fixate on it.
I feel like that's probably payback for us fixating on Godzilla.
Well, yeah, I mean, I'm a huge Godzilla fan. But yeah, they are huge into, so much so. Have you guys ever played The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask?
I have not.
No.
there is a mission on there, if you will, where aliens descend upon this farm and they're attacking all the cows and the community members, and you got to go fight these aliens. Well, it's never said that these aliens are related to the Flatwoods monster. However, I'll show you a picture. Drew will show you a picture in the live here that looks just like the description of the Flatwoods monster. And they're everywhere on there. Which is, Legend of Zelda is made in what country?
Japan.
Japan. It's a Nintendo company, right?
Yeah.
So a couple more things with this Flatwood monster is there was also another story where a couple was driving their car the next day, and their car just shuts off, stops working. So the guy gets out, being in West Virginia, man, it's dark outside. We're like, we'll fix this. Gets out, pops the hood, looks at it, says, I don't know what's going on here.
It's broke.
He says it's broke. But he sees a light. This is when you know it is a true West Virginian story. He sees a light in the woods, pulsating, a reddish orange light. So being the true West Virginian man this guy is, whose name has remained anonymous, said, you know what? Let me go in these woods, check this out real quick.
I'll go over here and see what's going on.
Yeah, so he goes over there, steps through all the brush, he's making his way through, looks around, sees nothing. But I don't know, man. Walks back to the car, gets back in the car. What he don't realize is, but his wife did, is that this figure followed him out of the woods to their car. And gets up to the window and just gives him like this death stare like, what are you doing, man? Why are you coming in my woods like that? And touches the car and burns the car.
So it's like acidic.
Yeah, it's like acidic, like real nasty, right?
So maybe instead of spitting oil, it spits acid.
Well, it didn't burn him.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. So what could burn through a car but not a person? Was it just a different thing?
Didn't touch the people.
Ah.
Maybe it was like one of those things like, hey man, look, get out of here. I'm trying to fix my engine. I'm trying to fix my car. I'm trying to fix my spaceship here. Maybe that's what it was. So they, going back to the story of the National Guardsmen and the May family going up there and a couple kids, they go up there to investigate. They see this figure standing that's 10 foot tall staring at them, right?
Mm-hmm.
They all freeze. Obviously, right?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like that's natural.
There's a dog with him. The dog's like, oh boy. He turns around. He's like, oh, see you later. He jets out. The thing jolts to him, right? Squirts that liquid. The National Guardsman passes out.
That's fair.
Passes out and falls,
That'd be
right?
me.
Everybody else is hightailing it. A couple kids grab their guardsman like, hey man, no man left behind. So they all get to the bottom of the hill and instantly get sick to their stomach, puking, throwing up. Terribly sick, right? Throat swollen up.
From the smell of that, or
from like the smell, the acidic. They compared like their symptoms to people that had been exposed to mustard gas.
Oh man.
Yeah.
hey, maybe that's about the time that we invented mustard gas.
No, that was in World War
Oh.
Yeah. Which is a funny story. We won't talk about that on live or on camera. Threw me off, man. But anyways, so they get to the bottom of the hill. They're getting real sick. The National Guardsman gets sicker than all of them, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's real sick. He ends up, they're trying, some couple cops are like, hey man, show us what's down. He's like, I ain't going back up there. And so they finally coaxed him to go back up in there. They showed him there was nothing there, but they found those track marks. They found the gummy deposit. And they could see where something was laid, the grass flat down. But there's no evidence of it.
So we talking like crop circle type situation?
No, it looks like just something landed.
Like
laid the grass down.
Like laid straight down. This wasn't like one of the crash site things.
No,
this
it
is like
landed.
Oh,
okay.
It landed.
Okay.
So you hear that little bit of that, you're kind of like, I don't know, man. Because 1950s, you was hearing a lot of UFO sightings.
Oh yeah.
You literally had people freaking out over the World of Wars broadcast. So you're kind of like throwing hysteria in there at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh.
The next day, two reporters show up in suits at Kathleen May's house.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, hey, we heard about this story. We want to talk to you a little bit about it. Take us up to this crash site and all that stuff. She's giving them all this information, telling them what happened, describing it, the Flatwoods monster, to them and everything. They leave. Of course, they find this oil deposit and they start touching it and trying to get samples of it. They ask her for her clothes where it's swirling all over.
Yeah.
And she's like, do we have that? And I'm like, yeah, they took samples of it. They leave. They come back the next day in plain clothes, like, hey, look, we're not really reporters. We're investigators with the United States Air Force.
I figured that was coming.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, why didn't you just say that? And she's like, well, we didn't figure you would have told us anything if you didn't, if we told you who we were. And she's like, okay. So, months go on, she gets a letter from Washington, D.C. saying, hey, we actually launched 4 experimental aircraft. We lost sight of one. That's what happened. We come and got it. There was two pilots on board. And they never said anything about the pilots, what happened to them. Said that's what happened. Keep it hush-hush. Ended it.
Also, they're trying to say that this was the Air Force aircraft that
Yes.
they were trying to divert away from any kind of alien talk or anything like that.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Anyway, go ahead.
So, you ever heard of Project Blue Book?
Can't say that I have.
I can't even.
I don't know a whole lot about them. I'm going to dig more into that. That may be a future episode, actually. But we're going to dig a little bit more into that later. But Project Blue Book, whenever they show up, that's when aliens are involved.
Oh,
They're the ones that...
Are they like the Men in Black?
Essentially, yes. That's the ones that they write all this information down, and they investigate everything, and they're the ones involved in that, right?
Dream
so they're involved in it now, right?
Did you say dream job?
Yeah.
Dream job? I mean, that would be... I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to know if there's aliens out there.
Oh, there's aliens out there.
There
dude.
is.
For sure.
Let's just say, so far in the story that we've learned, do you think, in this, we're going into folklore, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the Flatwood monster is leaning more towards a cryptid or an alien?
I say alien.
Yeah, I'll probably have to go alien too. Because
I mean, it sounds like, because folklore would be like it was just here. This sounds like it was brought here.
yeah,
But
and
the
also
thing is-
the squirting of the acid or
Yeah.
oily, that's definitely an alien characteristic. I feel like
Yeah.
cryptids
hear
is just
about
like beat you to
Mothman.
death or whatever. So
Yeah.
You didn't hear about Mothman spraying nobody.
yeah,
Well, one thing that really puzzled me doing my research on the Flatwoods monster is everybody saying how widespread and how popular and how everybody's heard of Flatwoods monster. Growing up in West Virginia, southern West Virginia, we heard about Mothman way more than we ever
Oh,
did about Flatwoods
Look, I'm going to
monster.
be honest. I didn't even hear about the Flatwoods Monster until Fallout 76. So
Yeah.
I was like a full-blown adult before I heard about it. And that's with living my entire life in West Virginia.
So, yeah, so the Flatwoods monster, man, BRAXXIE, as you will, or Greenwoods monster, it was only seen in West Virginia, in Birch River, and then there was another place, Frametown, I believe. It's the only areas it was seen.
Mm-hmm.
So it stayed in that area. So it's become a huge legend to the point whereas if you go to Flatwoods, there's literally huge chairs with the Flatwoods monster that you can sit in, take pictures in. The town's embraced it. But the town only has 277 people.
which town is this?
Flatwoods.
Oh, Flatwoods. Oh.
Apparently it's an extremely small town.
It
It
is.
is. Yeah.
And it's the geographic center of the state.
Yes, the geographical center of West Virginia. When you're traveling up I-79, there's a sign that says geographical center of West Virginia.
Look, I'm going to be honest, just to give some people some backstory. That area, all right, so once you're going up towards Morgantown from like the southern part of the state, once you get past Summersville, you don't see anything until you get to Flatwoods.
That's true. Yeah.
And then honestly, you don't see anything else until you get to Clarksburg.
Yeah.
Like, so,
Weston.
and let me tell you, well, Weston's like off the,
That's
Okay.
true. That's true.
so like, wherever you're going that way, Flatwoods is the only thing, and there's not even much there, if we're being honest. There's, like, right off the interstate, there's like some gas stations, a few restaurants and stuff like that, and then you got to go into town where, all this stuff is that we're talking about. So, for the people that are like, well, why didn't some of the other areas around see this? It's because there's nothing else around,
Yeah,
realistically.
there's really not.
The
No.
thing is there is a little area about, I think it's like 10, it's in Braxton County, where they literally reported a plane crash, or a plane disappeared. So when these people, the Mays and the kids and the National Guardsmen went to the sheriff to report this, they said,
Yeah.
the sheriff's not here. He's reporting a call down the road of a plane that just crashed. And what's also eerie is the fact that all over the United States, from Pennsylvania to California. That same night, there was all types of UFOs, flying objects reported in abundance all over the United States
So is it
on
like,
that same day.
so you think that's one of those things where we got invaded?
Well, there's also a story of that had like a bunch of the aircraft landed, and there was a bunch of smaller aircrafts that formed like a U shape around up in the air, like they looked like little like repair ships, and they were kind of like hovering over this. I don't know how true that part is, but I read that story. This is just a very interesting story. The Flatwoods Monster. I really like this interpretation on Fallout 76. It was a very cool character on there. It actually looked just like the West Virginians described it. It fought just like they described it. It like shooting out this little things out of its hands and stuff. It's very cool boss on there. Fallout, like I said, I know I've said this in the last couple of episodes. Fallout 76 done a great job of West Virginia Folklore. They did an amazing job of West Virginia. I really got to give it to those guys. They actually, when they released that game and announced it, where they announced it at?
The Greenbrier, wasn't it?
In the bunkers in the Greenbrier.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because that's where it starts, right?
Right.
You're in a vault. So it's a really great game, really great franchise, and you definitely should check it out.
That's probably an episode that we didn't even think about doing. It was the Greenbrier.
All right. It's called what? The White Springs Resort on Fallout 76? Yeah. They don't call it the Greenbrier, they call it White Springs. I guess they didn't want to pay the license.
The town's White Sulphur Springs.
Yeah.
But I don't think they wanted to pay...
I
don't think they wanted to pay Baby Dog's dog food. I don't think they want to do that.
Speaking of Baby Dog, and since we're talking about West Virginia
Is that
folklore,
West Virginia Folklore at this point?
Yeah.
I feel like it does. I feel like it's modern folklore.
Mm-hmm.
Did you see her official portrait?
I did. Yeah.
She got an official Senate portrait.
Oh, good Lord.
Dog's a legend.
Oh, boy.
Do it for Baby Dog.
One thing that I do want to throw out there when I was doing my research and listening to other podcasts, and I do that, I'll listen to other podcasts, I do research on anything we're talking about, is the fact that there was a lot of people that like to make disparaging remarks because it was in West Virginia. Like, for example, one podcast, they're from Louisiana, which, they're so much better.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
And they wanted to make the comment, like, these boys, they went home and told their mom, and they're like, what, his sister? And he's like, no, their mom. Yeah, probably their sister too, right? So so people that talk like that, you're a punk. You'll say it to her face. But
Spit some pepperoni rolls at you.
yeah. So with the Flatwoods Monster, there's some other interesting facts about it. Like I said, it's located in Braxton County. It was also on the second episode of the 2019 History Channel series Project Blue Book, titled The Flatwoods Monster, which, from what I read in that episode, is a horrible depiction of what actually happened.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of history people watched it and they're like, I don't really like it. I don't think that's a great depiction of it. But as with everything, that's kind of what happens.
Oh, yeah.
So, you want to talk about, we're going to jump into a little kind of a conspiracy theory type thing that you talked about on our TikTok page. I want you to take it away. I want to talk about this real quick.
Yeah, so actually,
Spot there, didn't
yeah,
I?
a little bit. But actually, there was just something else today about planes, commercial aircraft.
Mm-hmm.
This whole thing, it's every day on the news. Planes clip wings on runway, planes near miss on runway.
Yeah.
Dude, it's
daily.
Yeah, we've never heard about this much in our entire lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I understand that nowadays everybody's got a smartphone in their pocket. Everybody's got social media. Everybody's quick to pull up that phone and start recording. I get that. But I heard this conspiracy, and I am 100% behind it. Because it said that this is the government's way of pushing their 15-minute cities and their smart cities. And I accidentally just knocked off a box, my bad. But anyways, I 100% believe that. They're trying to incite fear in air travel so you will stay within your region. Which, I used to drive across the country every week, so it ain't nothing for me, whatever. I don't think about it that way, but They're pushing their 15-minute cities. They're pushing these smart cities.
Mhm.
The conspiracy goes on further to say that it started with the wildfires in California burning out the wilderness so they could make room for these smart cities in the first place. But they're trying to incite fear in us. And to the extreme level, they're trying to incite that fear so we'll keep our money within states and municipalities. And I believe it 100%. Because I'm sure that this has always been an issue. I'm sure that there's always been times when planes almost hit each other on the runway. There's plane crashes. And, you know, I don't mean no offense to any of the families of any of the victims and any of the plane crashes that have happened recently.
Right.
But I feel like that it's pushed down our throats now because there's an agenda behind it.
Yeah.
And I'm a 1,000% behind them on this conspiracy. Because the government wants us to be in these 15-minute cities where I don't for those that don't know, a 15-minute city is
I was about to ask you what that entails.
So you have suburban areas to where you're within 15 minutes of everything that you need to do. Shopping, doctors, employment, you name it, the list goes on and on.
Mm-hmm.
That's a 15-minute walk. Not commute. That's a 15-minute walk. So, I mean, what do y'all think about that? Do you think it's been pushed, or do you think it's just a matter of people are just more into social media, into recording everything these days?
I feel like there's got to be something to it. I mean, at this point, with the amount of it, there's something. What it is, I don't feel confident enough to say one way or another what it is. But I do feel confident enough to say there's something going on with all of that. There is way too much going on.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know. I truly don't know what yet. You know, because there's just so many things that it could be. You know, I would hope that it's just bad circumstances and that there's not some malicious intent behind it.
Well,
I mean, you know, in this day and age, I mean, we don't know what to think anymore, honestly. Because I mean, you don't know what to believe anymore. I mean, for example, we even go back to the 1950s with the Flatwoods monster, a 10-foot tall creature, and they're like, "Yo, that was a barn owl." Like, what are you crazy?
like what that barn owl do? Get like 20-foot drapes or something, and whenever it flew out.
Yeah, right.
I mean,
it said it was hovering too.
Yeah,
I don't want to get too crazy here with this, but
is a smart city the same thing as a 15-minute city? Is it just two different names?
No.
What's a smart city?
A smart city, I don't want to speak too much on it because I'm not 100% I'm not too educated on a smart city, and I'm pretty sure my phone just died, so the live's probably about to end.
Baby, all right.
But anyways, a smart city is like
government shut us down.
Yeah.
A smart city is like you know, a city that's like self-sufficient, a city that can rely on itself. So,
kind of like a prison.
Yeah.
Like where they have their own food supplies from their own city.
Own water supply.
Yeah. Also, tons of AI and automation.
I got you.
Yeah. So
you talk about like the stuff from iRobot.
Yeah, more or less. And the scary part about that is that we're probably not that far away from it.
No, I mean, you got Tesla automatically like already rolling out their bots and stuff now.
Yeah.
I feel like that's the next step towards it.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like there's a lot of stuff that we don't know that the government does, and I'm not trying to like be all crazy right here. I just feel like that some stuff's pushed down our throats, and I feel like this has been one of those things. And anytime something's been pushed down your throat, there's probably something behind it. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you know, for example, what if this really was military jet? Like going back to the Flatwoods part, I'm sorry. What if this really was a military plane that went down and it was used because there really was an alien that wrecked where the sheriff was checking?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What if they was like, oh, hold up, you know?
Oh yeah.
Because I mean, it's
what if there was like
flags or distractions?
Or what if it was, a military plane that went down because something from the alien plane did something to it?
Exactly. So we don't know that.
No, we don't have any idea. I mean, things happen every day that they play off as, oh, that's just a normal occurrence.
Exactly.
But deep down inside, I feel like we know that it's not. You know.
Yeah.
So, I feel like we dug in a Flatwoods monster. We talked a little bit about this conspiracy theory. Let's talk about something. We ain't 30 minutes in. Let's do something we don't normally do.
Okay.
Let's do a recap of what everything has led up to this point. This is currently it's Saturday. Well, actually it's Sunday.
Yeah.
At 2 a.m. on March 2nd.
My fault.
So yeah, it's Drew's fault. No, I'm just playing. It's nobody's fault. It's the thing with that is let's talk about some stuff that's happened this week. Last week. We started off a couple weeks ago in West Virginia, Kentucky, Virginia, North Carolina, Tennessee with a massive flooding.
Yeah.
In this area. It destroyed a lot. A lot of people lost homes, cars, everything they had. We had a great local team, 2 Live crew that, well, first off, let's go back before that. We asked everybody for donations, and which was great. Donations to go towards people in McDowell County to help them out for losing everything and everything. And you guys donated how much total?
Right at $200. I don't remember.
Right at $200 per se.
Yeah.
Donated right at $200. So what we done is I wouldn't say we, because it's your money. Y'all done it. We just facilitated it, more or less. So thank y'all for that. But what happened was this 2 Live Crew is a travel football team out of Bluefield, West Virginia. They messaged us and said, hey man, we're taking out cleaning supplies. We're taking out much needed supplies down in McDowell County, but we need a little help. We need some food, like hot dog weenies, hot dog buns, condiments, stuff like that.
Yeah.
So we was like, hey, with your donations, we provided 80 hot dogs, the weenies and buns, for a 2 Live Crew to take down there. They cooked it, they served it, they provided it. So hats off to 2 Live Crew. Thank you guys for doing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Then we got a message from this little restaurant called the Coal Miners Diner in Buffalo, West Virginia. That's out in the middle of nowhere. But they messaged us saying, hey man, we're going down to Yeager High School, McDowell County, from 10 to 4 this weekend to hand out free meals for everybody down there. And we got talking like, hey, we got some money left over from these donations. We don't have enough to justify us driving down there and doing certain things. So let's donate, and we did, right? Let's donate the leftover money to the Coal Miners Diner to help them provide meals for these families. So we donated the rest of the money to the Coal Miners Diner out of Buffalo, West Virginia, to feed families out of Yeager, West Virginia today. And again, I say we, and when I say we, it's all of us. Everybody that's donating money, everybody that watches us, everybody that shares the lives, everybody that follows us, likes us. Because without you guys, none of that's possible. Then, at 11 o'clock this morning, the Montcalm Middle School baseball team actually had practice today. They're having tryouts. Well, they're in need of gloves, baseball gloves. So what we was able to do with some help is we was able to provide, I know it's not a lot, but we was able to provide 4 baseball gloves, brand new baseball gloves to Montcalm Middle School football team. Today, I went to their practice.
Baseball?
What did I say?
Football.
Football, yeah. I'm sorry, baseball team. Montcalm Middle School baseball team. Chris Sanjit is their coach. He's a great dude. I've known him forever. Went to high school with him. I went over there. I watched him practice for a little bit, for probably 45 minutes. Gave him the gloves. Got a nice little picture with him. I'll post it on our Facebook page if you want to go look at it. So I'll post their schedule once I get it. Y'all guys go out there and cheer them kids on, okay?
For sure.
Get out there in your community to any teams that are playing, any local teams. If you're not doing anything, go out there and support them. Cheer them on. Kids need that.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah,
they really do.
I agree.
That helps boost their confidence, and you never know when they need that little confidence boost.
Yep.
And we are growing. This channel has grown. This makes what? The 5th week?
Something like that.
Or the 4th week?
Well, technically, it's our 33rd day.
So it's our 33rd day of being a podcast. And so far, we have surpassed all of our goals. And like I said, I say we, but we're nothing without you guys. Without your follows, without your likes, without your shares, without you just talking about us, tagging us and stuff, sending us stuff. Sending us funny videos, sending us ideas. On the TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, all the podcasts. Without you guys, we wouldn't have been able to do anything. I posted a post on our Facebook page, said, "Hey, do me a favor. Hit that invite button, invite 10 people." What y'all invited 400?
Yeah.
I appreciate that. That's
Yeah,
how many people just joined over, exposed to this nuke to us.
Well, we had people invite thousands of people.
Yeah, but we got 300 to 400 followers from that.
Yeah.
Yeah. As of yesterday, it was a 306 follow increase on Facebook. We've gained more since then.
Yeah. Also, our YouTube subscriber list has grown.
Yeah.
We're at 81 subscribers. I would like to have 90 subscribers within the next 2 weeks. That's attainable.
I feel like I want to have 100 by the end of March.
We want 100 followers, 100 subscribers on
100
YouTube by the end of March. Get out there and share our page. Follow us. Look, like I said, we're not doing any of this donating and any of this helping for clout. It's not what it's about. It's never what it's going to be about. It is 100% to help people that need the help. We want to be in that position to do that, to help the people. Help our kids. I want to help kids. Give back. So it's not about clout. I don't want the clout. I want kids to have what they need.
100%.
Yeah, absolutely.
And who knows? Maybe if we get to 1,000 followers on Facebook, we may think of us a giveaway. Don't know yet. We'll think of something.
Most definitely. I mean, we'll come up with something. Because, I mean,
that's just around the corner. We better be thinking.
Yeah, we're almost there.
We get another big surge, we're going to be up the creek without the paddle.
Absolutely. This is going to be old news by the time you get this video. But boy, you Cowboys fans better be shaking in your boots because Deebo Samuel's just come to Washington.
Yeah, you already had Philly to contend with. Now you got you're just done.
Yeah, done. I feel bad for you.
I mean, you probably still beat up on the Giants though.
At least for a couple seasons.
Yeah.
Man, I don't know what they're doing because they're talking about wanting Shador, but at the same time, I think that they're talking about passing on him.
He's not going to play for him. He's a diva. I love Coach Prime, man. We've been through this conversation 1,000 times. But Shador is a diva. He's not going to play in New York. He'll pass on it. I mean, look what Dion did. Whoever called him, or who was it?
I think it was the Giants. Are you talking about the one that I sent in the group chat?
Maybe.
Yeah, it was the Giants.
He ended up playing for Atlanta, right?
Well, he was drafted by the Cowboys.
The Cowboys. And then he ended up playing for Atlanta for a while.
Yeah.
But
He go to the Niners,
I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, he went to the Niners for a little bit.
But anyways, he told him, he was like, I ain't playing up there. And you think his son ain't gonna do the same thing?
My thing about that is too, though, Shador made a comment that I think is going to leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouth. Whenever he was doing his interview, he said, I went to Jackson State and turned a program around. I went to Colorado and turned another program around. You think I won't do that at the NFL? Yeah. I mean, this
ain't a one-man show.
No, it's not. I mean, and if you go early, that means that you're at a team that needs a lot of help.
Hold up. Did he turn Colorado around?
I mean, he had the Heisman Trophy winner with him.
No. But did he turn Colorado around?
I think his dad turned Colorado around.
Yeah, I think Colorado's much better.
Colorado's not good.
They're a lot better than they were.
They were like a, two-win team whenever
what were they this year? 6-win?
They at least had a bowl game.
They won more than that. But
I thought that they were about 7 or 8 or
they're talking like they they still are not good. Like,
I mean, if you take I'll give them some credit. Trust me. I think it's been very well known. I'm a big hater of all of them. But to go from Colorado was like a 1 or 2 win team. And then as soon as Dion got there, they instantly sold out of season tickets. Well, the second season, they only won 4 games, okay? But then the following year, to get to a bowl game, You don't see that very often in college football to have a 1-win team go to a bowl game within 2 years.
When they hired Prime Time.
I'll give them credit within that aspect of it, but it's definitely not to the extent of what Shador makes it out to be.
When they hired Prime, they were statistically the worst team in Division I college football.
Yeah.
So I would call that a program turnaround.
They were 9-4.
I mean, that's a pretty solid season.
So,
and a Heisman
Dana
winner.
Holgorsen won 10 games at West Virginia. That was not a good team.
But we weren't statistically the worst program in NCAA.
Probably close.
Well, you go from being the statistically worst team to a 9-4 season with a Heisman Trophy winner. That's fairly impressive.
I mean, but whenever you talk about a rookie quarterback going and changing a team,
oh no, I'm not.
When was the last time we truly saw that?
This year.
What was
Jaden Daniels?
I mean, but they also did a lot of other rebuilding around it. They went through a whole cultural rebuild there. I mean,
yeah,
they got new owners, new GMs. Like they did a top-down rebuild.
Owners and GMs don't play.
No, they don't. But they paid to get players there, and they set the team up for success. I mean, but yeah, but before Jaden Daniels, because I mean, I feel like that one's kind of an outlier because we've never seen a rookie quarterback do what he did. At least not in my lifetime. I mean, as much as I love the Bengals and Joe Burrow, he didn't turn them around like that instant.
No, I think C.J. Stroud turned the Texans around somewhat, but not extreme.
Not to the extent of what Shador thinks he's going to do.
Shador is not going to do that.
No, he's not.
He's not that guy.
He's not. I think that he's a system quarterback at best.
I'm going to take a hot take right now. It's going to make y'all both mad. Shador is a career backup quarterback.
No, I mean, I'm not mad at that at all.
He's a career backup. He's a Mike Glenn.
Here's what's going to happen. They're going to draft him.
There's nothing wrong with that. He can make millions.
Yeah.
He already has.
I mean, look at me. I'm here making a podcast. So,
I feel like if Shador wasn't a quarterback, he would be in the same boat as Shiloh right now.
Oh yeah.
I don't know about Shiloh. I know Shiloh's dirty, but
he didn't get an invite to the draft combine.
Really?
Yeah. He actually led the college football in tackles for a safety, if I'm not mistaken.
Well,
I'll be honest with you, man. If I was Shiloh, I'd feel some type of way.
Yeah.
I mean, they hyped up.
There's some family favoritism going on there.
They hyped up Shador. I mean, God, look at what they did with Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter was basically the damn son that he was the defensive back son that Dion wanted.
Oh, man, that's tough.
Yeah.
I mean, but tell me I'm wrong on that.
Woo.
I mean,
that was tough.
Yeah, you're right.
I mean, but am I wrong on that?
Shiloh, if you hear this, I'm sorry.
But
that was just mean.
I do think that Travis Hunter will make a difference on whatever team that he gets with.
Shiloh's one of those, he'll make an immediate impact as far as ticket sales and stuff like that. But not in like the career quarterback, franchise quarterback aspect. That's going to be the difference between the two.
Where do you think Hunter's going to play at?
They've already said it's going to be a defensive back.
Yeah.
That's a NFL.
He's undersized for a wide receiver, I feel like.
He's not necessarily undersized. They just said that his technique's too sloppy to be an NFL wide receiver right now.
What?
I mean,
well, they said that he may develop into one of those wide receiver roles, and they may get him to that point at some point if he chooses to stick that way. But it's a consensus he will be a defensive back in the NFL, at least starting out.
I mean, we've had this conversation 1,000 times. I think we all know where everybody stands on Travis Hunter. You know, you two are against me on that deal, and that's okay. But I feel like he makes a difference on an NFL team. I do not feel like that Shador makes that same difference.
No, he doesn't. I mean, I'll give you credit and agree with you to the extent of Travis Hunter will make more of an impact than what Shador will. And my thing about Travis Hunter is, like, I don't hate him. I hate on the fact that I do think that he is overhyped. And I don't think that he is a two-way player in the NFL level. At the very least, not now.
No.
Maybe once he gets some more coaching and stuff like that, if he chooses to stick with it. But a lot of NFL coaches have said that he needs to just hone in, and because he has the potential to be an all-pro level cornerback, whereas he would at best be a third-string wide receiver.
Yeah, I mean, we can argue till we're blue in the face on the whole, Travis Hunter, this and that, because I feel like he was great in college. Played pretty much every snap.
You know what was really bad though, Travis Hunter's game? What? His touchdown celebration week.
But I don't think that he's going to go super early in the draft either.
Who, Travis Hunter or
yeah, Travis?
They're saying, well, I think that he's going to be a top 3. He'll go to the first team besides the Titans that doesn't need a quarterback.
You think?
Yep.
Maybe.
I think Abdul Carter's going to go 1. And then I think that
Cam.
Yeah, probably Cam. Unfortunately, probably Shador. Even though I feel like Travis Hunter deserves to be drafted above Shador, but I don't think he will.
I don't know, man.
So
we're gonna have a draft special though. We'll talk about that.
We'll talk about that. I don't want sports to dominate the entire West Virginia Folklore and Appalachian because I mean we do want to talk about sports. But the hard-hitting question, the last question we're going to ask on this podcast.
Okay.
Who's going to have the better rap career, Shador Sanders or Jello?
Jello.
All right, with that being said, I appreciate you guys joining with us. Y'all have a great night. Y'all have a great weekend. This is The Basement, where it's top-level content from the lower level. Thank you.
Take care.
See you.